YouTube, I wear the cone of shame, or I would if there was anything cone-shaped or that could be made cone-shaped in this house. I've missed my Monday slot for 3 weeks in a row, so that's really, really bad, and I promise I'll try to do better in future. The thing is, like Emily, I actually found this week or last week's topic really difficult to make a video for, so instead of making a video, I hid under my duvet and panicked and worried and cried and felt really, really bad, which was not a good thing, I can tell you. But I do actually want to make a video for the Inspiring Women Week topic, so I'm going to try and do something slightly different than the other days, and I'm going to talk about fictional women instead. So here are a couple of the female characters who I find inspiring, both of whom from the same show, which probably not remotely surprising for anyone who knows me, is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So to start with Buffy, obviously the title character, she's strong and resourceful and clever even when she has her powers stripped away from her. She's independent and confident, but she's also very much aware and constantly reminded of how valuable and how much stronger her close friendships make her. And even more importantly, and I think this is what makes her such a wonderful character to me, she's also, despite being the Slayer and strong and, you know, defeating the bad guys on a episodic basis, Buffy isn't perfect and she isn't invulnerable, and things happen that do break her down and that she can't just cope with straight away, and that we see her struggling to cope with and having to find a way to cope with in the way that mirrors the way that real women have to cope with the issues that they're based on, albeit with less supernatural destiny and monsters, actual monsters to fight. The second character I want to talk about is actually the character who I think I identify with the most in the series, which again a lot of my friends tell me very well, Willow Rosenberg. Willow's very different to Buffy. Willow isn't confident or physically strong. She's quiet and bookish and nerdy and has fairly low self-esteem and really just has this need to make other people happy and make other people like her, which often results in her being used as a bit of a doormat by some of the other characters. And yet, through the course of the series, we see her developing into this incredibly powerful woman who has also, like Buffy, has to deal with all these huge things that aren't easy to deal with, but ultimately end up shaping how she develops as a character. Also, incredibly importantly, Willow is an openly queer female character. One of a very few, and one of the first that I ever had any sort of encounters with. When Buffy season 4 aired, which is the season where Willow comes out as gay, sorry, spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it, it did air in 2000, I was 14, and it would be another 2 years before I really fully came to terms with my sexuality, before I even came out to myself or anyone. But being able to see a loving, happy, and importantly accepted queer relationship like Willow and Tara's was hugely, hugely important for me, and very, very powerful, and is something that I think a lot of gay teens now are very unfortunately lacking, and that we could do with a lot more of. There are so many other fictional female characters who I could talk about: Winifred Burkle, Zoe Washburn, Kaylee Fry, Anyanka, Catherine Janeway, Belana Torres, the Powerpuff Girls, Rose Tyler, Martha Jones, Donna Noble. Our stories need more strong and actually realistic and fleshed out characters like those of Willow and Buffy and as I mentioned, where these characters aren't perfect and they have things that happen to them and they break and they recover, and they aren't just these hollow characters that pander to stereotypes and tropes, because the stories that we tell and the characters that are in them are so hugely influential on how we see the world. If you want to learn more about feminism and pop culture from someone far, far more articulate and insightful than I've been in this video, then I really can't advise you strongly enough to go and subscribe to one of the channels of one of my real life female role models, Feminist Frequency. I'll put a link in the description for you to go and find that, as well as some other articles about female characters in pop culture and, well, mainly in sci-fi and fantasy. Please comment below with your favourite fictional female characters, any women who inspire you, and I'll see you very shortly. Bye.